In this episode of OG55, I got the Italiano with me, freshly tanned Italiano with me today, fresh off the jet, sharper than Gillette. Mr. George, we got theme park wizard in the house, and Mr. Choo Choo theme park conductor with us. We are talking all about permits for Avengers Campus. We're also talking about DCA up next on OG55. Let's get it. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG55. We're talking all about Avengers e-tickets and even that Kuka arm thing, right? The flight lab. We're talking all about DCA, Kuka arm. We're talking even red Car Trolley. We're going to dip into that a little bit today.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about me there for a second.
Yeah, right, exactly. Hey, that's for the members, George. That's for the members. You know what I'm saying? But we got Mr. Theme Park Wizard with us today. Welcome back, Mr. Wizard.
Thanks for having me on. And guess what? You can find me all over the place. On TikTok, you can find me in George's house. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me in OG's house. And then soon you'll find me in Conductor's house. And on Patreon.
I was just going to say, that's nothing new. Like, who hasn't been in my house?
You can find Mr. Wizard over there in room 122 at the Anaheim main gate.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So follow Mr. Wizard on Theme Park Wizard on YouTube. And we got Mr. Theme Park Conductor in the house. Mr. Conductor, welcome back, sir. It's always fun having you on, sir.
Always glad to be back. Always glad for Theme Park Wizard doing that choo-choo for me. Always exciting for that. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on Twitter at Theme Conductor, where I'm steaming up that hot, fresh, steamy theme park news.
Perfect. And the Italiano, if you can let everybody know where they can find you on social media, sir.
Absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
He's the Italiano, but I'm Chef Boy OG. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And we got a sticky drop for the Italiano. There we go. We are official now. We are absolutely official. Let's rock and roll. This is courtesy of this guy named Theme Park Wizard. Does anyone know who this Theme Park Wizard guy is?
I don't know. He's been trolling the DMs
I see
like
him.
crazy.
He's right behind you, George. He's in George's house. He's right behind him.
There he is, Mr. Theme Park Wizard. I'm telling you right now, everybody at home, follow Mr. Wizard on X and YouTube. He does phenomenal work with his permit stuff, especially. Really, really awesome work here from Mr. Wizard. But it says here are the permits for the Avengers Campus attractions. I'll take it over to you, Mr. Wizard. If you want to go ahead and elaborate as to what we're looking at here and kind of give us a little bit of context.
Oh, check this out, kiddos. This is the big boy stuff. This is what's going on. Okay, so this is some breaking news. So just keep in mind, 2 weeks ago, and I want to kind of bring in some of the discourse online. For it's funny because everyone at D23 was like, man, I hope they announce something. And they did. And they're like, I hope it gets constructed in a decent amount of time. And it is. I'm look just 2 weeks later. It was this was found on August 23rd, so almost 13 days later. We have our first permits for Avengers Campus. I mean, that's pretty quick to me. You can, hopefully, I know people will still be upset somehow, but it's pretty quick. So I want to shout out Disney for that one. Thank you.
So they're only using one bulldozer. They're going to complain that they're only using one bulldozer and not two.
Exactly. Well, these are permits. I don't see it in the shovels in the ground yet. Well, let me tell you why, people, because this is the beginning. Remember, at D23 they said early 2025, right? Well, look at this. First, this permit is for a new address, but see, this is a little difficult because new address is not really a literal new address. This is like it's almost like a folder, like a file folder, because this new address they're talking about that they're applying for. This is where all the future construction permits will be going, because they have this big GIS map. And you look at all of them, like currently for the existing ones. So this is the first steps, but this is pretty cool because once this is approved, they can start. And breaking, they said, and even Scott Gooston, the Disneyland officials, they said breaking ground early 2025. But typically when they talk about breaking ground on any construction project, not just Disney, they mean like the new stuff, so like starting breaking ground for new stuff. But I suspect that pretty soon we can see the demo for things, the backstage area and some site prep work happen probably in the next couple of months here, so they can have the lands cleared for that breaking ground in January, which is pretty insane. And they're pretty cool because I feel like, and someone else mentioned that on Twitter, Secret Wars comes out 2027, right? So what a great thing to open when Avengers Secret Wars comes out in April or May 2027. I think that's why they're really rushing this and going faster on this. And, I got to commend the Disney people on this one because so far they're proving us wrong. And this is super exciting stuff.
Yeah, interesting stuff there, Wizard. I think you're right on that. Well, we know that October 1st is the beginning of the new fiscal year for the Walt Disney Company. So like you were saying, they might start demo and ground clearing maybe after the 1st of October to get this ready by the 1st of the early 2025 to start really building and stuff. That's fascinating. And also, like we know our boy Bob Iger. He loves that synergy. I think you're onto something. He loves it. He's hungry for it. It wouldn't shock me if he wants to get this open by Secret Wars. So that's a great point.
And what a best
especially because he had Robert Downey Jr. They showed the photo of him testing the ride itself. So clearly, synergy there too.
And what a best way to promote a movie that's going to introduce a new villain of Doctor Doom than to open a ride that deals with a villain that happened pretty much 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing though about the Avengers Infinity Defense ride is that it's going to be screen based. It's probably going to be similar to that of like the Tokyo Peter Pan or even like Transformers. But I have a feeling that's going to be an ever kind of changing thing, like in terms of who we see in that attraction, because it is screen based. They might bring in. Maybe they'll bring in Doctor Doom or something, There's going to be some flexibility there, I think. But that's fascinating. What say you, Conductor?
So how can I put it? We talked about this with Webba. So George, you're still a no-show. You're enjoying.
Oh, he's living it up at Disneyland.
He was. I'm jealous. No, but me, you, and Webba OG were talking about this, and one of the things I keep bringing up all the time is the Coco Dark Ride and these two attractions.
Right.
Where especially for the Avengers E-ticket and the Stark Labs, we're talking about where they can really turbocharge this project because it's not in guess way. It's backstage. It's easy to move dirt, whatever they need to do to get it done. Now, I think a lot of people are going to be pissed off because they don't have Captain America, throwing huge bricks of cement around. But no, but this is something a lot of people have been waiting for years, and I'm glad finally we are getting it, and I'm really hoping that at least Affinity Defense, I don't know about Stark Labs, but at least Affinity Defense, it's going to be a mixture of practical sets and screens. If they do that, I'd be satisfied. If it's just going to be all screen based, obviously it's a new shiny toy. Everyone's going to go on it, so I have no problem with that. But it's going to get old really fast because a lot of people, even with Transformers, there are some practical effects, but about 99% of it's screen-based. So,
I hate that thing.
But does it make you sick, Wizard? Transformers, like a little nauseous?
It doesn't. It's just annoying because it's literally like screen after screen. And so this is, I feel like, in Avengers Infinity, one of two ways, and I hope it's the second way. The first, well, one of three ways. The first way could be totally Transformers, just screen, screen, screen. The second one could be like Peter Pan, where the sets and stuff. The third way, because don't forget, it's almost the same ride system. The third way could be Jurassic World Adventure in Beijing, right? It's the same system. But if they really do it like that, then the screens will be behind helping these massive animatronics, which obviously everyone likes that, right? So I hope, fingers crossed, that Disney makes it more like that, because then it could be truly like an elite attraction. Using the same vehicle,
Yeah,
no one's ever talked about that as Transformers, but they keep forgetting Jurassic World's out there in Beijing using the same system. So it doesn't have to be Transformers.
No, it doesn't. And I'm glad you brought that up, Wizard. That's a fantastic point, because there's a lot of jumping to conclusions when it comes to the fandom, right? Oh, the ride vehicle looks like Transformers, therefore it must be Transformers. It's like, not necessarily. That's like taking a boat and going, well, the boat for Small World, I guess Pirates is going to be the same experience.
Yeah,
it doesn't really work like that. So I'm glad you brought that point up, because just because the ride vehicle is similar doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be an exact kind of. It's not necessarily going to mimic Transformers exactly. And at the expo, they had this cutout, right, George, of King Thanos.
Oh yeah,
right. And it was like a 2D like cardboard cutout. It was tall as hell. I wouldn't be surprised if that's your animatronic.
That'd be amazing. And especially because it's going to be a tall building, probably 1 or 2 stories. So there's plenty of room for them over there. And imagine like multiple of them. That'd be like super cool.
What do you think, Italiano? You think that, because you were at the expo with me, what do you think about that cutout? Do you think they were sort of saying without saying that was going to be an animatronic, or was that just to showcase the look of Thanos, in your opinion?
It's a possibility. I mean, it wasn't essentially what like popped in my head when I first saw it. But I mean, it is possible. I hope that's the route that they go. I think that would be really cool, that if they can, as Wizard had mentioned, that if they give it like that Jurassic World feel, that it seems like that Thanos is walking towards you, which they kind of do the optical illusion with Rise of the Resistance with Kylo Ren. And to be honest with you, that illusion sucks, because it doesn't look like he's walking towards you at all. It basically looks like he's walking in a screen on a treadmill.
Yeah, kind of. You're right. It looks very.
He's just trying to get his exercise, man. Come on,
come on, dude. Can't a guy just do some Pilates, bro? Like, come on.
Even in space, you need your exercise, Joe.
Exactly. It's all that space weight. But that would be really cool, that if they can do the illusion like how they did with Jurassic World in Beijing, to have an oversized Thanos audio animatronic kind of walking towards the vehicle, or maybe like the notion that he's grabbing onto the vehicle and maybe shakes it or does something. That would be like really cool. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see. As I said, I didn't really get that impression when I saw the cutout. I just felt like it was kind of
just show him like how he looks.
Yeah. But and I also have to mention too about the title of the ride. I'm not a fan of the title. I'm just not. Like when Scott Trowbridge made that announcement, I'm like, I could just picture the normies in the parks saying,
the Avengers,
"Oh, I got a lightning lane for Avengers Infinity Defense." Like, who the hell's gonna say that?
I think about the last few names in general are just so long. Like, why do they need colons? The Star Wars needs colons. Star Wars. It's literally Star Wars : Rise of the Resistance. Why do you need all those words? Just call it Rise of the Resistance or something. Millennium Falcon. That's, again, everyone's gonna call it. Let's go on the Avengers ride anyway, because that's insane.
Yeah, I love that. Why do they need colons? That's exactly it, Wizard. Why do you need colons in an attraction name? Go ahead, Italiano.
But I am looking forward to Infinity. I almost said self-defense. Infinity Defense.
See, it doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah, see, it just doesn't roll off the tongue. But believe it or not, even though it may seem like a kind of a more simple type of ride, I'm more curious about Stark Flight. Just because it was something that we weren't expecting. Like, we all were anticipating hearing about the Avengers e-ticket. We kind of got the gist of what the storyline was going to be, the ride vehicle. But the Stark Flight Lab came out of complete left field where nobody knew it was coming. It wasn't even leaked. It wasn't
No.
leaked. We got no hints, no nothing. We all heard it right there and then.
Well, and that's George, where I have to push back on the fandom a little bit. Like, I get it. People are upset about Rivers of America, and they're upset with the red car trolley. And I understand that. But the thing is like, we were going into this expo with certain expectations as a, yeah, you know, like I was like going into this expo thinking, okay, if I get some details on Pandora and the Avengers ride, I'm good. And not only did we get Pandora and the Avengers ride, we got another Avengers ride basically in the campus. And we also got a Coco boat ride. I'm like, we got a lot more than what we were expecting. So it's like, I think it was very successful D23. Now, look, that doesn't mean it's not without its controversies. I understand people are upset with Rivers of America and stuff like that. Go ahead, Wizard.
I was just going in there, like I told you before. I told you I'd be happy with just even an opening date or construction start date with even if we have no other details. I would have been happy. So I was blown away basically by what I got. When people say Disneyland didn't get anything, but to me, I count Disneyland as both parks. It's not like Disney World, where they're very far; they're very close. So I go to both parks all the time. So Disneyland to me is California Adventure. So I feel like Disneyland got something. Also, they're getting Tiana's, and we got like 3 of the last new rides. So I'm glad California is getting 4. It's right across the street, so you are getting something, in my opinion.
No, well said, Wizard. And you're right. Disneyland got the last few things. It got a 15-acre Star Wars land. They got Tiana's. They got a brand new reimagined Toontown with a big attraction, Mickey and Minnie's. It's time for DCA to get a little.
And they're still getting a Walt animatronic, and I'm sure many more refurbishments of smaller things for the 70th anniversary. It's not like nothing.
Well, yeah, sure. If you want to be nitpicky.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because like people were upset too about that 70th anniversary stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but they're gonna say that stuff later on. Obviously, they're obviously not gonna have nothing. They're not, obviously we're gonna get like a fireworks show.
They literally said more details to come in the months to come.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not starting tomorrow. It's like, starting next year.
It's like, don't worry, you'll have the next several months. They'll announce the 70th anniversary cupcake. You'll get it. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll get that cupcake exactly. Yeah, no, I was fine with Disneyland kind of taking a little bit of a back burner because DCA has really been kind of left in the cold really since 2012. I understand we got Avengers hallway and stuff, and we got the San Francisco, but we haven't gotten a big investment in that park in a long time, and it needs it badly. So.
Yeah, and the Star Planet attraction, back to George's point, it is pretty cool. That is actually one, speaking of sick OG, that I make motion sickness on. Because, see, Legoland, for anyone that didn't know, Legoland has a similar attraction called, like, Knight's Tournament or something. But for that one, you can choose your own intensity. So I'm not sure if that's going to be the case here. But I think it'll be pretty cool. I mean, it's another ride. It adds capacity. It seems like this will have more capacity than the Legoland, which is one arm. You had to wait the whole cycle. This one's gonna be multiple, and it looks pretty cool, futuristic.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Wizard, because I actually rewatched the parks presentation last night through WDWNT because they recorded literally the whole thing when they were there, and I wanted to kind of go back and like rewatch and re-listen because after being there in person and being all hyped up and sometimes you can miss some things. Well, when they were talking about the Stark Flight Lab, Damaro had mentioned, or it was either Damaro or Scott Trowbridge that mentioned that there are different experiences when you go on that ride because you may not get the same kind of training from an Avenger. So you can go on at one time and you may get Thor. You may go on the next time. You might get Black Widow.
That's interesting. I don't remember that because it was so chaotic at the expo.
It's probably very loud by you guys, probably.
Yeah, and I was too busy checking out the Japanese girl over across the way.
Literally.
That's my D23 girl. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you want to go to San Francisco tomorrow?
Let's go. Yeah, but I don't remember that. So that's interesting, George. So if you have like the Hulk training, maybe you do like the smashy Kuka arm thing, right? You do you do the Iron Man thing. You're doing like some barrel rolls or whatever. That's pretty dope, dude. I like that. What say you, Conductor? What are your thoughts on that? Oh, go ahead.
Doctor. No, I'd say I hope because Kuka arms is the same system as Forbidden Journey. So these don't look as claustrophobic because they don't have like a hood. So I was curious with the UOG. I guess we'll have to see the final design, but since it's the same system, if they take away the hood, I don't think it should be that claustrophobic. But is that same ride system? I'm curious what your thought was.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, without the blinders, it's definitely the claustrophobia thing is cool now. Like it's out in the open. I'm fine with that. We'll just see how intense it is.
Yeah,
I'll try it once at least. We'll try it at least once and check it out. What about you, Conductor? You excited for this thing, the Flight Lab?
I am. I'm super excited about it. I'm glad, George, you rewatched it, because having multiple experiences instead of having the same experience every single time is also
Smuggler's Run.
Right.
Bonus. And it kind of it's a great thing you just brought that up, Wizard, because as I'm thinking about it, it took Disney for what it seems like forever to add a new show to Smuggler's Run, but it also gives this new attraction, Stark Flight Labs, because they have so many Avengers to pick from. They can add new Avengers to it for training. It doesn't have to be the same. I don't know what they're going to choose from, 5 or 10. It could be more than that. They can add more at any time. You're just talking basically about software, basically.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if these movies, when they come out, Secret Wars and all that, whatever characters are in these new movies, you can incorporate them into this attraction now. And I believe that they will, because Disney has been very open to like adding that synergy element into Avengers Campus. Like with the Disney Plus shows, we would get like every version of Loki walking around. We got Scarlet Witch, and I think with these attractions they're gonna really play with it and kind of give us multiple experiences.
Well, let me ask you this, because when I was on your show and we had Webbo, one of the things he brought up from the concept art was that it looks like you're on a belt and it goes in a giant circle, but when you look on the overview of the two rides from kind of like a helicopter type view that they showed, it almost looks like Stark Flight Labs will be a big enough building where they might have screen and practical effects, just like the Avengers e-ticket.
Yeah, I would think that it's going to be more than just that one room, because like you were saying, George, Wizard, with the multiple Avengers, or no, George, you were talking about the multiple Avengers giving you a different training. You have to split these Kuka arms up a little bit. Otherwise, what I'm saying? If they're all together in one room, it would just be like chaos, with all these instructions coming from multiple Avengers at once. So I think that what we're looking at in this art is probably like the load area or something.
Or what they could do is just pipe in the audio into each individual vehicle.
That's true.
We may all be in one room, possibly, but we can't hear or necessarily see what's going on with another person's experience.
It's a great point. Yeah, they could do that too.
Now, I want to ask Conductor and Wizard, because I actually brought this up to OG in a previous recording. Not saying that you have to, go on these rides in any particular order. You can do whatever you want. But I wonder, in the Marvel fashion, if the Stark flight is basically the pregame to Infinity Defense as a storyline in the campus. So it's basically you go into the lab and the Avengers are like gearing you up to like how to prepare for battle. But then when you go onto Infinity Defense, now you're putting that training into full effect, because now you're actually in the battle. Because if you really look at the type of ride system that Stark Flight Lab is, that was basically the ride system we were supposed to get from the original concept of the Avengers e-ticket. What are your thoughts on that?
Wizard first.
Yeah, I think that it does make a lot of sense. Also because they're like connected, like the buildings that are connected, so it makes sense. You train with the Avenger, you go over and you take flight, or you're doing your Infinity Defense throughout your locations. I think it makes perfect sense story-wise, and then you just got Spider-Man over on the other side just doing his thing. But yeah, it makes sense, and it's also pretty cool because every attraction in Avengers Campus could basically be programmable for different scenes now, right? Because Spider-Man, you can throw some new scenes there. Guardians, you can add a new song and drop sequence. Avengers, you can add some new screens, and this one you can there'll be different Avengers. So that'll be pretty cool. Like I can really keep Avengers Campus if they want to up to date, super costly by changing every single attraction if they really wanted to.
I think it would be funny if they kind of threw in the joke that like us as the Avengers are battling Thanos for the sake of all our worlds, and the Guardians of the Galaxy has to save themselves by breaking out of the Collector's fortress. And then here you have Spider-Man battling his little Hasbro plastic toys.
Hasbro, exactly. What say you, Conductor, about that? About George's theory of like Flight Lab sort of being like the training device for your main experience with Infinity Defense?
I think personally, if those two attractions were open today, and they will be eventually, I probably would do Stark Flight Labs first and then jump over to the Infinity Defense. But the thing I want to bring up is, since those two rides are literally going to be right next to each other, do you think, and this is just a theory, do you think Stark Flight Labs, if it's more than just that one big oval track system that it kind of shows in the concept art, but it kind of overlaps and it kind of goes into the Infinity Defense ride building, and it's kind of overlooking, the Infinity ride, the show, but kind of has its own elements to it as well. What do you guys think about that?
That's a fascinating concept. I never really considered, Conductor, because they were going to do something similar for Indiana Jones Adventure. Like the Indiana Jones Adventure show building was going to house or share multiple attractions. The Jungle Cruise was going to go through there. The railroad was going to go through there. There was going to be a minecart coaster that was going to go through there. So I like your idea of sort of like the Stark Flight Labs kind of making an appearance in the other attraction somehow. I think that's pretty dope, dude. I like that idea a lot, actually.
It kind of gave me the idea, because if you guys remember, and it's like beating a dead horse, but the old days of the People Mover, how it went to different buildings in Tomorrowland, and it kind of showed different. That's kind of what I'm thinking with Stark Flight Labs and Infinity Defense. Kind of the same concept.
Yeah, no, I like that idea.
It would definitely work out, because I always wanted them to do that with the Guardians rides. Like when they first opened Cosmic Rewind, I would have loved for them to have put in a nod into Mission Breakout and have like one of the Guardians say, "We just broke out of the Collector's Fortress. Now we have to deal with this." Kind of thing. I love that. I love that synergy, like that connection where, especially since they're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. for both attractions, I think it would be kind of cool that maybe even at the end of Stark Flight, they can end up saying like, we're having issues, with the whatever the ride vehicle is going to be called. Sure. Thanos is wreaking havoc. You guys better get over there quick. Like, even if the guest doesn't, but if you end that attraction kind of on that cliffhanger, it entices people to say, okay, I need to check out this e-ticket attraction, because it's like, I just got done with Stark Flight. Now I have to see it. It's basically like literally riding the movies. It's like as if you were to watch a Marvel movie and it says like, or, to be continued, or it leaves you on a cliffhanger and it's like, okay, well, we got a continuation from Infinity War to Endgame. If they were to do that in the sense with the rides, that would be freaking awesome.
No, that would be cool. And I heard a rumor like early on that they were planning on doing that. Very early on in the sorry, there's like an annoying fly in here. Very, very early on in the maybe it's Ant-Man actually, right? No, I heard very early on that was like kind of like the plan. Like they wanted to kind of do that connectivity, between all these resorts, but it never really happened, unfortunately.
Well, George, let me ask you this. I want to ask you this as well, Wizard. So OG, myself, and Webbo were talking about it. There was a rumor, and again, it's a rumor, speculation, totally. rumor was that the Hyperion Theater was going to be leveled. Do you think if that rumor is true and that building does go away, do you think that space will be allotted for Avengers Campus, or do you think it will be allotted for whatever's going in Hollywood Studios, which is looking like Pandora at this point?
Well, it's actually funny because OG and I were just having that conversation, and I even asked him that same question. I said that hypothetically, if the Hyperion Theater goes, I'm curious to know if they would split, like, because obviously I think that if they would just demo the whole entire building, because that's a huge plot of land. Like, if you literally get rid of that building, there's a lot of land that you can kind of play with. So I don't know if they would divide the land and kind of give a portion for Avengers Campus and a portion for Avatar. It just depends on I think honestly how big of the scope that Pandora is going to be, because I mean it's really looking like Pandora is going to go into Hollywood land. I'm not really seeing anything unless they still just last minute decide to put it in Simba parking lot. But I mean, especially with the news with the red car trolley and everything, I know that they're saying that it's for Avengers, but I think it's a bigger, they're kind of killing two birds with one stone. It's like they're doing it partially for Avengers, but I think in the long run, they're getting everything prepped and prepared for Pandora.
If Hollywood was staying, when that trolley goes down Hollywood Boulevard, instead of making a right, they can just have it go left and go into any number of those empty. Yeah, they have empty sound stages back there. They could put it into. Clearly, they're getting rid of the red car trolley because this is going to be Pandora.
Now we also have to take in consideration too. A lot of people online, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, OG. I think it was Jeff Gordon that had mentioned that there's the possibility of a second attraction for Pandora that was not mentioned.
Spot.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where it's rumored to go? The Hyperion spot?
Jeff Gordon said. Yeah, he said at a future D23, the Hyperion Theater will be the location of a smaller, or like a C or D ticket, the Avatar. I cannot think of the words. Avatar ride that hasn't been announced yet. But it hasn't been announced because Avatar's last. So I guess I'm sure they'll probably wait for this one to be under construction, and then I'm sure when the other one's under construction, like in 2026 or whatever, maybe they'll announce the second thing. But he did say there seems to be a second attraction.
So when they said everything is basically going to take 5 years, so this is going to be like a lot of construction.
Everything should be open by 2029 is what
That's what I was going to say. So like at the back end, Avatar should at least be open by 2029 or 2030.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Makes sense because those permits that you brought up, or that you put up before, one of them was, first of all, we got to shout out to the new restroom building coming to Avengers Campus. Like, incredible. We got like extra restrooms. But the other thing that says area development, see, that is back of house.
Well, really quick, Wizard, before you continue on, you know what they say, if you got a hero up, you got to piss like a hero.
Exactly. Especially with that Stark Flight Lab thing, I feel like people are going to need the bathroom pretty close.
Exactly.
Especially after eating that shawarma.
Yeah, shawarma, and go to get a beer or something, or a cocktail, and then go on that thing. Yeah, you don't need the bathroom. Like, exit bathroom. But like that, basically where Space Mountain is, that's how close you need the bathroom. But the area development one right there. So that means back of house. So that's the new back of house. So I'm sure they're going to demolish everything there and rebuild some stuff. But also, someone told me, or a couple people told me, that it's not just the back of house stuff that's currently there they're going to rebuild or relocate. They're going to relocate some stuff, the back of house structures behind the Incredicoaster. That's why Coco will be in construction in 2026, because they're going to rebuild all that stuff where they have in that back corner behind the Avengers building, so that space can go for the Coco boat ride behind the Incredicoaster. Is what a couple people.
So you're hearing that the Coco boat ride is going to be where they currently hold the the parade. floats.
That that area there. It was like the bandstand, but it was supposed to be the Pixar Pier, the entrance, like a dark ride stuff. That was supposed to be Coco, and also someone else told me that the mandate, I guess the mandate from Daddy Josh and friends, is that they finish building out, are fixing and building out the current two parks before even touching the Disneyland Forward expansion plots. So someone told me that there'll be Coco and all the stuff that was announced, and then Tomorrowland, and then they'll continue on to the actual Disneyland Forward locations.
Wow.
So it'll be like later on, like
wait,
down the line.
really quick. So when you say that, you mean for Disneyland Park or
both?
For
like,
both. Okay.
Yes. Like
so they won't touch. So what you're
Yeah.
hearing is they're not even going to touch
not
the
even
Simba
touch
parking lot.
Yeah, until
until
like all this stuff is done, because they want to fill out every square inch of California Adventure, or whatever it will be called, and then fix Tomorrowland. And then they said then I heard they'd want to go into those other.
So
lots,
I'm assuming
which is
that they're
good
going to
because they can really dream up some really grand idea for the big lot. And
So I'm assuming
fill
that
up
they're
all
going to
the
just keep the Paradise Gardens the way it is for right now.
probably I'd assume so,
So
but maybe eventually it'll go.
So that actually entices me to think that, that Disney's still going to be playing close to the vest with Tomorrowland. So we might not hear a damn thing about Tomorrowland until the next D23, which in retrospect, I'm fine with, because it gives Josh Tomorrow and whoever else the time and thought process. Because I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking. When they opened Tiana's Bayou Adventure, you got Haunted Mansion, semi-open. You got Bayou, the Bayou Land reopening, or Bayou Country. You got the Hungry Bear reopening. It makes me believe that everything that DCA, the two Avengers ride, Coco, and then possibly Avatar, it makes me want to believe that Tomorrowland at that point, they will literally wall off Tomorrowland so no one can go in there, because then there will be so much other stuff to, do between the two parks. No one will really be bothered if Tomorrowland is shut down.
Well, and here's the other thing. Here's the other elephant in the room that a lot of people, may or may not really think about. But in 2 years' time, we are expecting a new CEO.
Right.
So hopefully that they do their homework and, really sit down and decipher of like who would be best to run the company, because any little monkey wrench could be thrown in at any time, that any of these projects could go away with a click of a finger, just like Thanos and Endgame.
And that's why they have to start now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, honestly, I think that if he sticks to the 5-year plan, right, which it seems like they're already starting Avengers stuff. I think that this stuff that was announced at D23, I think is safe, because by the time the new CEO comes in like 2 years, the stuff is already too far along.
You're already midway through, yeah.
Yes, but the Disneyland Forward land that Wizard's talking about, because they're going to wait until the existing parks are full. That stuff will be 100% on the new CEO.
I truly feel like, even though that will be, I think that they're going to not want to go the Chapek route again with the nickel and the diming of cutbacks to all the stuff in the parks. I really think they're going to do their damnedest to get somebody in there that understands the ways of how a CEO is supposed to be when it comes to budgeting specifically for the parks.
Yeah.
And I really think that because they made the mistake before, and we all know how Bob Iger is with his legacy. He is not going to want to leave the company officially this time again to someone who will be irrelevant and kind of ignorant to the fact of how to run the parks. Because as much as Chapek had his strengths as a business person, he was the perfect CEO at the time, especially from 2020. But when it comes to the parks, I mean, he wasn't even a good chairman for the parks, let alone for the CEO of the parks, to be honest with you.
And it's interesting. I will say it's interesting because, in regards to these initial round, like you said, OG of attraction, I think is definitely pretty safe because don't forget not only about being under construction, but remember as part of the Disneyland Forward approval, Anaheim said Disney has to spend a certain amount, like $1.9 billion in this time frame, or else they'll be fined. So that I feel like that's another reason that all these things that are announced are pretty safe because they don't want to be fined and have to pay Anaheim extra money. So they definitely want to spend that money. So these are pretty safe now. But yeah, the new CEO and Autopia, by the way, electric cars, if they still go with that in 2026. You'd figure you have to start switching those out in 2025 if you're still going with that. So I feel like we'd have to hear something about Tomorrowland.
And really quick before you say what you wanted to say, Conductor, really quick to Wizard, to your point, that is very true because of the 1.9 billion in the 10-year span. So they're basically already doing the halfway mark just with this one D23 event.
Exactly.
So it really makes you wonder that if everything was all that announced now with the 5-year, then for the second 5-year, for the second part of the 10-year, that's going to be very interesting. And I think that's maybe when, to your point, when you were mentioning about Tomorrowland's going to be mentioned, I would think, in the next expo or two, but it won't start until the second wave.
Yeah.
What say you, Conductor?
So I actually want to bounce off George for a second and say, with everything that was announced at D23, if that's going to be half of the budget that Anaheim told Disney they have to spend, it makes me want to believe that Tomorrowland is going to get a massive overhaul. The reason I say that is whoever the new CEO is going to be, they can have a legacy right then and there of Tomorrowland, whether it's Tomorrowland 2055 or something even better than that. As long as it's a complete, almost to the point, tear down and rebuild of Tomorrowland, I don't see why they couldn't do that. Well, the money that Anaheim is basically telling Disney, hey, you need to spend this, why not?
And I think, to your point, Conductor, Disney already knows what they want to do with Tomorrowland, because if you go back and rewatch, I highly recommend for anyone who hasn't watched the full show of the park's presentation, go on WDWNT, because they literally have the full show in its entirety. It just cuts off a little bit at the end, but basically the show is practically over. But if you go back to the beginning, where kind of they were giving like the montage up on the screen, where it was showing all the different Disney destinations of what was going to be involved. At the very end of that montage, it showcased Tomorrowland.
Right.
Now that tells me that Tomorrowland was going to be part of this presentation, but I feel like with everything that was going on, they probably didn't want to take that chance, because a lot of people were saying, okay, this is just going to be a kind of a touch up, kind of like Band-Aid over the land. And to your point, Conductor, that if they wanted to put funds into Tomorrowland, rather than just rush it and put it into this budget halfway, wait for the second half. Right. And that way they can really go in and do something with it, because you're right, there will be enough attractions in there in the resort to kind of offset the fact that they would be closing down the whole entire land.
Now here's the thing too, with in terms of DCA, right? We're talking Pandora. We're talking let's say Pandora does replace Hollywoodland, right? So it's Pandora now. Okay, obviously now, and I've been a big proponent of like, hey, you know what, San Francisco, there's enough California inspiration in there. It's California, Cars Land, Route 66. That's enough California for me. But Pandora is really kind of a bridge too far. That's really you're really going way outside of the scope at this point. I'll start with you, Wizard. Do you think it's possible we see a name change, a theme change for DCA?
I think so, but boy, I'm just scared of whatever potential name may come.
Hopefully, no colons, right?
For me, yeah. Oh God, please no. Well, I don't know. I think I'd rather a colon than Disney Adventure World
Oh
Anaheim
God.
No, that's it. That's perfect. DCA, Disney's
No.
Adventure.
Yes, Disney colon adventure, and I like Disney Cinemagic Adventures, Cinematic Adventure. One of those would be quite nice. Keep the acronym, because I hope it's not if they do, I hope it's not something super generic and terrible, because the park deserves so much more. And the name,
Yes.
that's an identity.
Yeah. And if you just change out the California and you put in, say, cinematic, right? Like Disney Cinematic Adventure, then all you have to do is change out for the main sign. You just change out one word, easy peasy, right?
Exactly. And they keep their word
sense.
adventure. They like the word adventure quite a lot these days, and or even like Disney's Hollywood Adventure that can signifies movies, Hollywood, but also still California-ish theme in there, something. I just hope it's not something plain.
Or something overly complicated. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
That too.
When I say like complicated, but like something that just like doesn't roll off your tongue. Infinity Defense.
But Disney's Golden Adventure of California.
Oh, jeez.
Inspired by Walt Disney.
Yeah, I've been saying for a long time, I actually would like a Wonderful Worlds of Disney park. That would be kind of a cool name. It'd be kind of like a nod to the past with the Wonderful World of Disney. But in terms of this park, if you rename DCA Wonderful Worlds of Disney, it can be a park that celebrates all the studios of the Walt Disney Company. You have Pixar, Disney, Marvel, all that.
They can really troll us and just name it Westcott.
Oh, dang.
Wizardy stuff.
Oh, man.
See, there you go, guys. You got your Westcott.
There it is. What say you, Conductor? Do you think there's a chance that we get a retheme at this park? Because it seems like with Avatar moving into Hollywood, I mean, they might go in a new direction with DCA.
Yeah, I you know what? To be honest, I'm actually in favor of a name change. I think Disney California Adventure, the California part of it's pretty much at this point, it's dead. It's dead. You see a little bit in San Francisco, but that's
Grizzly.
And Grizzly, yeah.
And Grizzly, but
it's a national park.
That's true, but if they
it has little redwoods,
it's not going to make sense. So,
what about Disney's Adventure in California Park?
That's what I was thinking.
Well, here's the other thing too. Okay, let's say hypothetically we get Disney Cinematic Adventure. Now you open up a ton of possibilities when it comes to the symbol lot. You could technically put Villains Land in the symbol lot at that point.
Put Frozen there. You got Villains Land. Put a whole bunch. Yeah, it's funny. It kind of sucks though, because something that's very California, at least to me, I've seen some discourse, but to me it is something that's very kind of Coco, because massive Latin America culture is finally being put in at the same time something very un-California is being put in. I'm like, oh no.
They can't help themselves, Wizard. They just can't help themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Now, Wizard and Conductor, where do you eventually see Grizzly Peak in the future? I'm not even saying in 5 years, but I mean, if this is the road Disney's going to go, do you see them keeping the aesthetics of Grizzly Peak but just kind of like adding an IP to it, or do you see them completely demoing the whole thing and completely like retheming it from the ground up?
So I think Disney's mentality, I honestly think they'll keep the ride, but just reskin it, retheme it, add an IP. That's just the easiest way for them, and it's kind of a homage and a hint. Because why would you put Big Owl right in front of the attraction if there was no reason for it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think if any changes come to Grizzly, it's going to be in that form, Conductor. It'll be an overlay. That's a massive mountain, and to go in there and to rip that thing out would cost a fortune.
Oh
yeah.
Also talking about the Grand Californian. Who in the hell wants to pay money to stay there and listen to construction sounds?
Yeah. Wizard does.
Yeah. Like, show me your permit.
Yes. Yeah, Wizard will be there on the balcony of the Grand Cali with his laptop and all the permits ready to go.
I see it. I see that one.
He's like, I don't care. I'll pay the moolah to get inhale the sawdust.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And it's funny because think about it, if they took away that mountain, then all those people that say Disney is doomed and are promised to never go back to Disney are still going to go back to Disney anyway. I don't know if the mountain's there or not.
Right, exactly. They always come back no matter what. No matter what, you know.
But on it, the country bears and their animatronics would be fantastic on the attraction. So I hope that is the overlay that eventually comes there. Because every park, as I always said, even if it only doesn't use in the wintertime, I feel like every park needs a water ride. Yeah, Splash Mountain, Tiana's at Disneyland, Grizzly here. A park without a water. And look at Hollywood Studios.
I think they need more water rides, to be honest with you.
Exactly. Because look at Hollywood Studios, right? And Animal Kingdom has one, but Hollywood Studios, it's super hot in Florida. George knows it's hot and humid. Mm-hmm. Don't you wish Hollywood Studios had a water ride to go on when you're there?
4 Walt Disney World theme parks. Over 40 square miles, and that resort only has 2 fucking water rides.
The same amount as
in the hottest state in the whole entire United States. They only have 2 freaking water rides.
Exactly. And we have 2. Can you believe it? And we're just so tiny.
I'm telling you, well, when Slimer was down here, he was like, our buddy Slimer, he was like, yeah, I can see the California bias. Like, Imagineering is definitely favoring you guys over here, and I see it too. And honestly, as a Disneylander, I love the love. Don't get me wrong, but I would like Imagineering to kind of give Florida their love too, and kind of spread it out a little bit. It gets a little annoying when it's constantly like, I don't know, overlooked and stuff like that. Go ahead, George. What do you think?
The animosity within the Disney fandom is like where they always pinpoint like the Disneylanders versus the Walt Disney Worlders and vice versa. It's like, can't we just love both? Like, can't you?
Yeah. Oh, so y'all ain't gonna let nobody disrespect the West Coast, huh?
Can't we just like all just like
that fuck 'em up.
Sorry, go ahead, bro.
You're on a roll there, bro.
Yeah.
But no, like, can't we just enjoy the fact of like whatever Walt Disney World gets, stop comparing it to Disneyland, and whatever Disneyland gets, stop comparing it to Walt Disney World. They're 2 totally different machines. They are run completely different. I never really understood that until actually 2020 came, because I used to have the Premier Passport that covered the annual passes for Walt Disney World and Disneyland. But when 2020 hit, they basically had to take my one pass and literally break it in half, because I had to get a refund in the Walt Disney World way and then a refund in the Disneyland way. So it was like, it was a mess. It took over a year for them to actually get everything right, because I was being hit back and forth like a ping pong ball. Disney World was telling me, oh, you got to call Disneyland. Disneyland was telling me, call Disney World. And I just had about enough. I was like, can somebody tell me who I need to speak to in order for me to get my refund?
And I actually do have footage of George getting hit back and forth like a ping pong ball.
That fuck 'em.
There is.
Sorry, guys. It's 2024. George, you're getting hit back and forth with a pickleball. Okay?
There you go. Exactly. So fascinating stuff. The cool thing about all this, you guys, is that we actually have new things to talk about.
Yeah.
Like,
and watch get built.
Yes.
And ride.
And really quick, I want to ask Wizard and Conductor something. So, Wizard, you had mentioned that, they want to do everything within the grounds already of Disneyland Park and DCA before moving on to the Simba
Except
lot.
for one thing, and that's the parking structure, the Eastern Gateway. That's like only
correct. Yes, but I mean, like, as far as like in the theme parks go, for like lands and attractions and everything. So I want you guys to put on your Imagineering hats on for a second, and I want to know, of everything that was mentioned, of everything that was said, the possibilities of what's going into the parks right now, after it's all said and done, for the second phase, from just say from like 2030 on, when it comes to the Simba lot, the Lilo and Stitch lots, what would you like to see? Not saying that it's what you think that they're going to do. What would you personally like to see after it's all said and done? In the sake of saying that Avatar is going into Hollywoodland. If that is the case, what is the bigger scope? Because obviously, if Avatar goes into Hollywoodland, they must have something really big planned for that Simba lot, because that's like, what is that, like 20, 25 acres?
I think so. It's like 20, 25 acres. It's significant. It would add a huge, that would really increase DCA's size by a lot. But what say you, Wizard, and then we'll go to Conductor.
Okay, but I'm starting with Disneyland's first because, I like that Lion King concept. I must say I don't want the same thing because Tiana's is right there. But I feel like some kind of Lion King attraction would be pretty cool. Or like a little Pride Lands area. And hey, boy, I'm a sucker for Frozen. So I feel like, but like the Tokyo one. So I'll take the Tokyo Frozen at our the whole land. Oh no, sorry. I want the Tokyo ride, but I want the Hong Kong roller coaster and the lake. I want a mixes of Tokyo and Hong Kong's frozen areas in our frozen area. And for California Adventure, gosh, I like Wakanda, but then that's like so much Marvel. So I don't know. I feel like I have to choose something different. Boy, that's a toughie. Gosh, oh god, maybe like a massive. Not a massive, but a cool Zootopia type of thing with more than just rides, but like with like nightlife and stuff. Because that city vibe, at least what I saw from Shanghai, looked pretty cool walking through there at nighttime. So I feel like it's California Adventure, Disney Adventure World.
Yeah, I like what you did there. Yeah, no, that would be cool. Zootopia fits that park. I think that vibe
exactly.
For sure.
And I would tear down Pixar Pier and rebuild the hotel, but integrate it into that like Fantasy Springs style, integrated into that plot of land with whatever land they put there.
See, OG didn't care whatever you just said. All he heard was tear down Pixar Pier.
And I was like, yeah, I'm on board.
Yes.
Let's go. Hire this man. Disney, hire this man.
Please, come on, Daddy Bob. Ooh, I mixed it together.
Daddy Bob.
Daddy Bob.
What say you, Conductor? What's your dream scenario for Disneyland and then DCA for that big piece of land?
So Disneyland for the Lilo and Stitch parking lot, I'm gonna agree with Wizard. I think the World of Frozen Arendelle would be great there. Mixture between Tokyo and Shanghai. I think it would be great. DCA, and I know it's been rumored before, but it died pretty quickly. I don't know. I don't know if I would like to see in the Simba lot something. God, what would you put there? God, it makes me wonder.
I know it's hard, huh?
You don't want to copy. You don't want to copy Walt Disney World with Villains Land, so that's out of the picture.
Oh, just kidding! I put Villains Land back there.
There you go. Would you put Zootopia, Conductor? Would you like to see Zootopia? Because we don't have one stateside.
Yeah, Zootopia would be pretty damn sick. I'm not gonna lie, it would be awesome. I'm trying to think of another Disney IP, not Lion King, but something.
Would you be considered for them to do Villains Land, but if it was a different rendition of Villains, like have a different style, a different look that's opposite of Walt Disney World's?
Yeah, I'm open to it, but it's still, you
still feel like it's not the originality of like coming up with something completely.
Even Monstropolis would be nice.
I want the door coaster. Honestly, what I want, and I've been saying this for years, I just want a Disneyland resort, either park.
Exclusive.
I feel like we need. Oh no, I don't really care about the clones thing. I don't. That doesn't bother me much. But I just really want another highly themed roller coaster. Disney World. That's one thing Disney World gets a lot of, these cool roller coasters like the door coaster and family friendly. It doesn't have to go on upside down and stuff, but just a highly themed like indoor roller coaster. The last roller coaster in general we got was in 2001 at the Credit Coaster.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that Slinky Dog
20 years.
coaster in Toy Story Land is actually really good. You
Yeah,
would like
see?
it. It has a thrill factor to it. It's faster than you think. It's pretty cool.
I will say, after getting all the news for Walt Disney World, I'm probably going to wait a little bit, but I am strongly considering on getting my annual pass back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, for Walt Disney
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. So you can go back to the Boardwalk Pizza place, huh, George?
That's it. The only reason why I would get my annual pass back. That's it.
There you go.
Seriously, don't you? I guess OG and I guess all of you at Disneyland. Don't you think we need at least one more roller coaster, not like a bare bones, but like an actual highly themed one? It's been even like some of the Dwarfs Mine Train. That I'll take that.
Dude, what?
I said you still got Goofy Sky School.
Oh yeah, no, shut your mouth, boy.
Yeah, I don't think my balls are like you for that one.
Oh man, our boy Tones loves Goofy Sky Skill. I heard he loves that attraction.
That thing is so compact. Like you can't even get in it. Like it's like, and then they got this thing that sticks up in the seat, and I'm like,
yeah, that thing
it's
is
like
what
you
injures
do
my
realize
balls.
that we have a different anatomy than women, right? Like, we do have something that's like
the
there.
hard breaks. Oh my goodness, the end of the attraction goes. I'm like,
it feels like this.
That fuck.
exactly.
It's horrible, but yeah, no. The mine coaster is a lot of fun. Now, you're going to Florida with our boy Rankin the Mouse in a few months.
Yes, for super short. I'll go much longer next year though.
And next year, so you're going to, I think you said like one park or something this time around.
Yeah, I'm going to Universal for a day and then going on a cruise the next day. And
nice.
Then 2025 will be the Epic Universe, but also taking my fiance to Disney World for her first time. So that'd be cool.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome. Just you and her?
Yes. Oh, so far. I mean, anyone can come, but so far we'll be flying there together.
How long has it been since you've been to Disney World?
Ooh, let's see. Since was it 2006, 2005, or 2006 or 2007? One of those early years.
Wow.
Yeah, you should.
Our first family vacation ever.
You should bring me. I'm a great cuddler in the hotel. Ask George.
If I bring you, I'm gonna put you in one of those hamster balls so you don't fall down again. I'm not taking you in no hospital.
I'm telling you, man, that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. That was wild.
Well, let me ask you guys this: since we were talking about Avatar possibly going in the Hollywood studios,
Right.
It makes me wonder with the red car trolley that got announced that's going away in early 2025 to make way for the Avengers e-ticket attraction, the Stark Flight Labs, and then whatever's coming to Hollywood studios. Once they start building Pandora, if it's going in Hollywood studios, how much of Hollywood Boulevard is going to be walled off? Like how far?
I would think probably the whole thing.
I feel like either just maybe just the like where the back lot is, maybe at the Hyperion to the left.
Oh, I'm thinking much. I'm thinking literally much farther push forward. I'm thinking all the way to Disney's junior dance party show building.
Well, see, it's interesting because I get maybe because, but I've just really heard it's going in just that back lot in the bus plaza, at least to start. So I feel like if they just did that, they really would only need to do the back lot. So people, in fact, they can still keep Philhar Magic open. I don't know how to do it. It's pretty interesting.
But that's where it would look weird that if you would still be walking down that street with all those same facades and everything, and then you look to the left and it's like, boom, oh, there's Pandora. It's like,
I heard
I still can't picture it. It's like all the answers are leaning towards Hollywood land, but I still can't picture this freaking thing being put into that spot.
And the concept art, remember there's like, because I heard it looks like almost like Super Nintendo. It has that little portal thing. Yeah. I've heard that maybe you go into like a sound stage and this is a movie set type. I think I've heard that's how they want to do the transition there. That's why you come in through one of those portals that's completely covered and then it's like you're entering a movie set. It's Pandora, I guess. I think that's.
I hope they don't do that.
Yeah,
I would not like that.
You know,
I've literally. Tomorrow, if you do that, I'm sorry. That is the dumbest fucking idea.
So if they do that, George, are you taking down your profile pic on X?
you are single again, okay?
Oh, that's funny. Well, gentlemen, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, one last thing I just want to say, because it was pretty funny that going back to those Twitter the fandom, I guess, again, they're mad that that we thought nothing's gonna get announced. Like, Disney, Epic Universe is gonna trump them. They have nothing. There was nothing planned after Tiana's, and now they have all this stuff planned, and they're still mad at you.
They're still mad. I know. That's what I'm saying. For how many years did we hear? How come Disney's not? How come they're not responding to Epic Universe? Here's your response, and now you're all complaining and bitching about every little change they make.
Now it's like, oh, we should have left everything as is, and it's like, okay, so what you're saying is Disney shouldn't have responded to Epic Universe. It's like make up your mind.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah, exactly. It makes us look nuts. Like Disney's probably looking at us going, "What the heck is this about? I thought you wanted new stuff. Well, we want that new stuff." Oh, Jesus!
Literally, the Disney fandom,
not there.
The Disney fandom is basically one big giant billboard that says, "This is why you stay off of pills." Like literally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, think about it. Everything that was announced. Is there anything that people were happy about? I'm trying to think. I guess maybe the stuff they were talking about.
Well, right now I think they're okay with Pandora until probably once they announce that the Hyperion Theater's going.
Oh shit! Yeah, that'll be the next thing. Oh my god!
I mean, I guess they're okay with Tropical Americas. That seems to be a pretty okay one there.
Yeah, Villains Land. I think they're okay with it, except for the Rivers of America element.
Monsters Inc. is kind of up in the air until they make
where it's going.
Monsters Inc. They're still kind of up in the air, depending on like is Muppets still saved?
That's Zootopia.
Zootopia, they kind of forgot about. So I don't know. Interesting.
The Muppets. I read a Twitter post. I don't know. I forgot who it was from. They were actually saying that the Muppets are going to go away to make room for that Monsters Land. It is going to happen, whether people like it or not.
That's interesting. Well, I've heard that. I've also heard Rock and Roller Coaster is leaving because they've been wanting to retheme that thing forever.
Yeah.
And Aerosmith is retiring now.
And the original concept for that Monsters Inc. roller coaster actually was supposed to replace Rock and Roller Coaster like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. See, it was already in the plans before, so I'm leaning towards that. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Mean, yeah. Apparently today, when this comes out, it's Wednesday. It's supposed to be the blog post. That's what a couple people said. So we'll see. Maybe by the time this comes out, we'll know. We'll have to make a little comment edit down there, or maybe not.
We'll see. To be announced. But
see. The one thing I want to touch upon just really quick is the fact that we've all said it, that Josh Tomorrow said, no blue sky, shovels in the ground, dirt's moving, everything announced tonight.
And that's another thing. He said shovels in the ground, and people are still mad.
We're still mad.
My problem with that is, if people are criticizing Disney now, and I know they've been going through crap for decades, but if they're criticizing them now over removals of stuff, could you imagine if they can't even open 2 rides in DCA? Let's just say Coco's just not completed, which there's no reason why it shouldn't. But I could see Pandora not being open in 5 years, and I'm okay with that, because that's one of those lands, like, I want the detail, I want the immersion, I want everything to be A+ classic, I'm walking on the movie set type thing. So it gets me to wonder how bad the criticism is going to get if
They're-
everything they announce is not open in 5 years.
They're gonna complain. They're gonna complain. It's inevitable.
Yeah, they have to. Because look, they said, let's say, well, they're upset or happy that all this stuff was announced. Then they're upset that Josh had shovels, dirt's moving. They're like, where is it? I don't see it. Yet
Exactly.
a week before he said that, BioReconstruct posted a photo of them removing trees in the villain's Cars Land area, but that still counts as that's moving. They're starting construction. Oh, that doesn't count.
Well,
And
that's
then
the
here
other
are
thing.
those permits. They're shovels moving. Where are the shovels?
Well, that's
There's
the other
permits
thing.
found.
That's the other thing that gets to me too. That these people expect that they're going to do it like right in front of their face.
Yeah,
Like,
starting
yeah,
this
we're gonna
second.
open the gates, and you all come backstage, and you can actually see us do one lift of dirt, so you can be happy, and you can take your picture and post it on Instagram. Here's your one shovel full of dirt.
Yeah, take my hand and follow me to the construction site. We'll walk you over there and show you. You know, it's like it's ridiculous. If I was Disney, look, I think you have to listen to fans. I get it. You don't want to completely ignore your fan base, but at the same time, it's kind of crazy. And I think that Disney needs to just kind of do what they have plans to do, and kind of ignore the noise a little bit, because it's getting a little like people don't know what they want at this point. You know.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the fans you listen to are the ones that fill out the surveys at the end of their park day, because those are the people who are probably not going to be online screaming and shouting. They'll be just enjoying their park day, annual pass holders or regulars, and then they fill out a little survey, and if they didn't like something, then that's when Disney should fix something. But all these people online, they say it's something that blows my mind.
It gets nuts out there, man. It gets nuts out there. And X has become such a toxic cesspool. You know what I'm saying?
Like, what and then people think politics. I mean, how does politics have to do? Rivers of them. Oh, I guess I can. Americana. Oh boy.
Oh, here we go.
Still, you
Yeah.
know, it seeps their way into it. And I'm like, what is going on? We're arguing over a river or a trolley or a log flume or like, and it's okay to be sad about something. I'm always be sad. The Tower of Terror and Splash Mountain are gone, but I'm sure I'll love the new additions. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm sure channels will be fantastic or decent, and not enough for me to go like you racist or whatever. You know, like these people are insane, and then it's actually insanity because then they still have a pass and still go buy their ticket to go take a picture, and it's like, oh my gosh, look at this river. Shame on you, Disney, from standing inside Magic Kingdom. Like, don't go.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you're going all the time and the place makes you miserable, then there's something wrong. That's weird. That's weird behavior. You know. And the other thing too that's really weird, that's really strange to me, Wizard, is like I see people like, oh, Dana Walden, she's friends with Kamala Harris, right? We're talking about the politics end of it, right? Oh well, Dana Walden is friends with Kamala Harris, and that's bad. You don't want to have politics in Disney. You know, you don't want her to be the next CEO. But then the same people are rooting for Elon to take Disney over.
I know.
And this guy's been the biggest cheerleader for Trump for like a few months now. That's okay. But Kamala being friends with Dana is not okay. So it's clear you know it's not about the politics. It's about what kind of politics it is. You know,
it's their vision. There's one vision and their vision, and it somehow co-mingles.
And if we could just focus, and if there's only one
Boom.
vision that we could focus on, it's the series vision coming on Disney Plus.
there you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
And then also, it's funny about the people that say, you know, Walt would never approve. Well, how do you know that? He's dead. I mean, do you know him personally? Do you know his family? I mean, he was, especially, it's funny, back to this semi-politics thing, is those same people that are rooting for Elon or whatever, those are usually the ones that say, Walt will never approve this. Yet, did not realize Walt hired like LGBT animators and stuff. Like, that doesn't line with their vision. I feel like they would be totally not. They don't know Walt's politics or Walt's vision.
Plus, they're
they try
also
to think
going
they
by,
do, but they don't. He's a
plus
very progressive guy.
Plus,
Yeah.
he was, you know, but they're also going back to looking at a person that was in a time where it was very different than what it is today.
Yeah,
So you,
literally, Main
I
Street
could literally,
USA
I
was
could say
based
that,
on him.
I could say
Right.
that about anything and anybody too. It's like, oh, Abraham Lincoln wouldn't have approved that. Well,
Yeah,
no fucking
exactly.
shit. It was like over like how many decades
Well,
and years
well,
and
and
centuries ago.
As a person, right? As a person, how much has your personal politics changed in the last decade? Most people evolve with time. You know what I'm saying? So to say like, well, Walt, he would have been the same guy as he was in 1966, probably not. Probably not. And we don't know what way he would have gone. He might have gone super conservative. I don't know, or he could have been super liberal. You know, who knows?
And you'll never know because he's unfortunately not around. Sometimes I wish he was around so he can just shut all these other people up. Like, ask him, like, come on, Joseph Walt, say something.
Say something. Give us something, man.
And although I bet if Walt said what they didn't like, then they'd still be mad. I'm like, that's not Walt.
That'd be like, that's not Walt, that's AI.
Yeah, that's an animatronic.
Or he was paid by the Mouse House. They got him. He's compromised, folks.
Walt Disney's the Disney shill.
There he is. Yeah, exactly. He's shilling. Well, gentlemen, this was not a controversial topic at all today. I love it. But Mr. Wizard, always a pleasure having you on, brother. If you could let everybody at home know where they can find you on social media, sir.
You can find me on Theme Park Wizard on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and more, and on Patreon. And then, you can go buy all my crap at themeparkwizard.shop.
There he is.
Happy Halloween!
And don't forget, Wizard, have a fantastic
day!
There he is. And Mr. Italiano, if you could let everybody at home know where they can find you on social media, sir.
Absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
And we got Mr. Conductor over here.
Nothing can stop us now.
There we go. Choo-choo all the way. Mr. Conductor, if you could let us know where they could find you on social media, sir.
Absolutely. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on Twitter at Theme Conductor. You can also find me on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. on my Conductor Thursday live stream. We have two fantastic guests tomorrow night, Mondo from Five Fires and Tommy. We are going to be talking about HHN, Universal, and this red trolley disaster.
There it is. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Mondo's fun. You guys will have a blast over there. That's awesome. So check it out, Theme Park Conductor. I'll be linking these gentlemen's channels and all their good stuff down in the description down below. So subscribe to them, show them love. Mr. Wizard has a membership program. Join that as well. Thank you all. I already did you, George, right? Yeah, you did. Okay. Cool. I didn't play the sticky drop, so I got thrown off a little bit. But thank you all so much for watching this episode of OG55. And until the next time.